I feel like I'm a piece of puzzle. Like without me, the puzzle wouldn't be completed.
While you are there, a part of that universe, do you feel like you have any form at all?
Yeah, it's combined light and also dark, and so together it creates matter. Like it doesn't feel like any structure, but it's somewhat physical, but not in the form like a body.
It sounds like it feels very nice to be there.
It's comfortable. Yeah. Like it feels like I can be or do anything that because I have this matter, I can just be great from it. Anything I prefer. It's this matter is like a Play-Doh. It's soft and it can make shapes and anything, but I don't feel like anyone's hands doing it. It's like me being that matter which can itself create any anything, any form or any shape. It can also move and float and choose direction, and it's limitless. It can take any, it can be any substance or with any kind of physicality. It doesn't matter if it's liquid or something hard, or it can grow, and if it wants to, it can be a tree, or it can be a rock, or it can be a human, or any other kind of being.
And what do you create?
Like these geometrical shapes, it's just like a plasma, like moving and creating those shapes. It's just at this moment, but I can move and be anywhere.
Okay. So let's do that. Let's move on to the next important thing for you to see today. Let's drift forwards and float on to something important that you should see. Be there now. Tell me, where are you?
I just got this picture, like watching from above at Indian camp, but they are living in those leather like teepees, and I see like only one this teepee, and it's small, but there are few people around it, maybe 3 or 4.
And tell me more about this.
There is fire, fire outside the teepee, and the people are just chatting. I don't see anything much going on. The ground feels like it's clay when it's dry and hard and red. And they are on some kind of big field. It's like scene from maybe in Texas. It's something like that. There is, I can see there is mountains. They are quite far away. That field is just flat.
And do you feel like you are a part of this scene?
I I feel like I'm inside of the teepee, and I see myself as sitting there as a young woman.
And could you describe your features? What do you look like?
I have long black hair, and they are in a plait on my back, and hair is decorated with some kind of like flowers or ornaments. I have a long colored skirt, and on my shoulders is that I don't know how it's called, like a blanket, like a scarf, something like that. But it's big and it's covering my upper body. And I am doing something with my hands, something like grinding some herbs. Seems like I'm probably making some medicine or something like that.
And tell me more about this medicine that you're making.
It's all natural remedies, mostly just herbal. But I know how to make uh, different substances like paste or oils or some infusions or anything. And I am using these medicines, giving it to people who need, like when someone gets some injuries or something, then I know how to help them heal.
That sounds lovely. How did you gain this knowledge?
It comes from nature. When you are connected with nature, then you get the knowledge from it. It simply shows you what you need and what you can use for anything. It's it's living hand in hand with the nature and appreciating and loving each other. When you love the nature responds to you with the same. And you and the nature are one body. You are not separate. If you look at the nature and earth as a body, you are part of it, like a cell, like everything on the earth, all animals and plants and water and wind and rain, absolutely everything is a cell of this body which we call earth. And to be able so that earth lives in the balance, we all need to cooperate like the cells in your body. And if there is some cells out of the balance, then there is illnesses. But when everything is in harmony, everything does its part, then all other functions is cells and functions are supporting each other for the most harmonious work. It just works perfectly together.
Thank you. So, could you tell me a little bit more about your life as a healer, a medicine woman? Um, and tell me, do you have a family there?
It's so easy to be a healer. So easy. You just allow it and be with the nature. And as a woman, all the people around me, we know that we are one. We are like a big family, and we don't uh, separate from each other. So it's like everyone is included, and all this community is as a family. But at this moment, I feel that I am still very young, and I don't see a husband by my side. I see my other woman, which is probably my mom and grandma around me.
Do you have a name?
Something like Nagir. It sounds like Nagir.
That's a beautiful name. And I would like you to drift and to float forward in time to an important day in the life as Nagir. Be there now. What do you see?
Mm. White people coming on horses. We already know what that means. That's the end of it. They have been destroying everything on their way. So brutal. There is no way for us to escape as we live on this flat area. There's no forest around, and we simply know that it's over. They're gonna kill us like they did to other tribes. I think I'm shooting, and they feel so powerful and so important, and yet they are so far away from the truth. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are doing.
Tell me more. What happens next? You can view this as an observer if you don't want to experience it. You do not need to feel any discomfort at all.
I see that all my people are on the ground in the blood. They are all killed. I don't feel any pain or anything apart from the pain in the heart that this is so unfair. This is so much away and far from the truth, how we used to live. And I feel the hate towards them. I may understand that this is probably not their fault because they don't understand what they are doing. But I wish they could. There is this brainwashing going on for so long, and people are infused with the idea that ones are bad and ones are good, and they perceive themselves as a good, even though they don't gain anything from killing us apart from the sense of superiorness, if that's the word. The people like to experience the darkness. They love to do those things or watch them to be done. And sometimes people are not actively participating in those kinds of actions, but for some reason they are still drawn to watch in the movies or in the games this kind of action.
So, as we leave this life as Nagir, is there anyone there to meet you?
It's all my tribe. They are just in the heaven. They are up there. Everyone is there. And it actually feels that it doesn't matter what happened down there because we are still all together up here. And I see an angel overlooking all of us. It just stands like behind us. I see it all as a white, bright place, and we are all in our energetic bodies, but still with personalities. And on the background of that all that white scene, there is this huge, huge white angel smiling and looking at us.
That's beautiful. And could you tell me what happens next after you have reunited with your tribe?
We just dissolve, like when I see them as an energetic body standing there, but they just dissolve in the universe, and we don't stay all there, because even if we dissolve, it doesn't mean that we are not existing anymore. It just means that we return to our origin, and we all know that we are still together, and then we also understand, like we always knew that, but even on the energetic plane, that we are all one, that we are part of this bigger light, and we return like completely with our own soul, knowing that we can always get together and be together and experience more together, and we are never separate. We can't communicate, but the communication, it doesn't mean that I would need to call someone. It just, I don't even need a think. It
And we will return to the place where you dissolved into the universe and you was about to return to your origin, your own soul. Could you tell me more about that, please?
it feels like a cloud, like golden cloud. It doesn't have like a typical shape of the cloud, but I see like a huge irregular shape of yellow light, and when I say that we dissolve, so that at one spark of that cloud returns to it and just stick to it, like it comes together. And from this cloud, there are many tiny sparks or stars all over the universe, And this is like my soul splitting itself to those tiny sparks, and they are experiencing everything at once. The, in this moment when the human body dies, it returns to that big soul, which we call Oversoul, because our soul is huge, that the what we think of human soul, it's actually like a one drop of water in the ocean. So this is just a very tiny part with us during our earthly life. But these drops can be all over the universe. And it actually means that there can be several drops of that soul even on the earth at the same time. And that's why when you meet someone and it feels so good to be around them, or to you simply sometimes just love someone, and it's because it's part of your soul. So probably you share one oversoul, or you all come from the one oversoul. Sometimes it might be called as a soulmate or twin flame, because you are just one soul in different bodies.
And this oversoul, is it able to speak?
That's what it does. It's always speaking in all ways.
So would I be able to ask the oversoul some questions?
Yes,
So one of the questions that this one on the bed has today is, how could she access her inner healer?
being in the nature. She just needs to connect with the nature consciously, with intention, and with allowing I see why she's not doing it so much, because the place where she lives is it's not very suitable for her to do so, because it's all just the agricultural fields around, and those places which would be available are always busy with other people walking, and she is struggling to find a quiet, peaceful, and also clean place to do this what she wants to do.
So, what could she do to help access the inner healer if she hasn't got access to the nature?
Simply by meditating and turning inwards. When she reads something, it's just a reminder, and she's being reminded, for example, of the remedies or herbs or tips or anything. And she might need to learn, trust her intuition. For example, if she wants to offer any health advice, she needs to trust herself that her advice is valid, even if she has not consciously learned about that anything. But if it's coming out of her in the words, that means that's valid. She just needs to trust it.
Thank you. And what skills and abilities has she learned in other lifetimes that she can bring forward to this lifetime?
Me, as an oversoul, I have experienced anything what has been already created, and she can have anything from this knowledge, whatever she wants. She just needs to choose what she wants, and through meditation, she can tap into my knowledge and get those abilities. Her problem is that she is not spending much time, dedicated time for meditating and going within, and because she has a limiting belief that she needs to learn something. but accessing the abilities is not coming through learning, it's coming through accessing, and access is gained by quieting the mind.
Thank you. And another question that she has is about her clairs, for example, clairvoyance, to be able to see more clearly. How would be best for her to gain this ability or strengthen this ability?
Through practicing the visualization, we know that she is doing it. But for example, today she didn't had any problems to see this Indian girl. She has no problems with visualization. But if she would spend more time practicing it consciously and dedicate some time for it, it would help her to get the clearer images.
Okay. And you showed her the life as what seemed to be a Native American type life. Why did you show her that today?
Because she asked how can she access her inner healer. And that girl, Indian girl, she knew how to do this by connecting with the nature. And it's for her to see that even someone with a young age, without any books or literature or without any technology, she can have this knowledge directly, and that she doesn't need to spend many years learning that information and remembering everything, because that Native American girl, she could just sit on the ground, close her eyes, and she would see the picture of the plant she needs for some kind of healing. And when she goes out to look for this plant, spirit of the plant would call her, so she would easily find it. And this is how she was able to help people in her tribe, because there is, for every illness, there is a natural remedy.
Thank you. And the first life that she saw today, she was floating throughout the universe and able to create. Could you tell me more about that, please?
That's who everyone is. Like everyone should understand that they can create. They are creators, and that's the purpose of them, create, because, as I said, the soul, I know everything what's already being created. But for my growth and for my expansion, I need to create something more, because the growth never stops. And the same is for everyone else. We are meant to be creating. And at this point on earth, we need to create more light and good things to balance it out here on earth, because there is too much dark energy at the moment. And with the creation, we can bring the balance.
And if you could give any advice to humanity as a whole, what would you give them as advice, and how could they create more light?
They can choose their own ways to create whatever, if it's through the joy and doing things they love, or through meditation and visualizing the light and peace and harmony, or just by spreading kindness and love. That's how they create. But they need to be aware that they are creators, and their actions create, their intentions and thoughts create as well, because people don't believe in themselves as creators. They think that everything is done for them, but they don't realize that they are creators. They create life on earth, and they have to be conscious about that and consciously create, because when they are not thinking about themselves as a creators, they accept other creations as only possibility, and they immerse themselves in those creations, and they get stuck. Does it make sense?
Does, thank you. And recently, both myself and this one on the bed saw some clouds in the sky that were rainbow clouds, all beautiful colours. There's been a lot of speculation as to what caused this. Do you know what the reason for these clouds was?
Did you notice how did it make you feel?
I was amazed and couldn't stop looking at them.
Could this be the reason? Did you feel that your spirit was uplifted?
I did.
The same was for this one on the bed. So, what if it was just a miracle to uplift your spirit?
That
Why
is
would you why would you need any other explanation? Would that mean that you are accepting other creations upon yourself? Or you can accept the one which feels so good? It's your choosing what you choose. And we can't confirm that it was done by something bad. It did its purpose because people were amazed. And if you could see that moment, how the energy changed when all those people were noticing those clouds, that magic or sense of wonder or joy or what else you was feeling that moment, that raised a vibration on the earth in a huge way.
That's amazing. I do think it was a miracle. I really enjoyed seeing them clouds.
Your heart will always tell you the truth. Your heart, by how you are feeling, it's always your navigation. If you feel that something is wrong, then it is. But if you feel that uplift and miracle, then it is. Your heart will never lie to you.
Thank you. So, would you be able to tell me if this one on the bed is on the right path?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And is there anything more that she needs to do other than meditate more regularly?
Trust in herself. Hold the vision of what she wants. Believe that she will get to experience that life that she is wanting. Trust in herself. She is doing right. And things are gonna shift for her as well. Like you noticed that you are changing, the things and energies will change for her as well, which will be very helpful for her. and she is doing everything absolutely amazing.
Is there anything she can do to help prepare her body for these changes?
She already started to take the small steps, like thinking what she puts in her mouth. And she will be all right. Her body is very strong, and those changes, she might notice something, but it's not gonna be hard on her.
Lovely, thank you.